So it is a slightly rainy Monday morning on September 15th, and before I get my day started, I wanted to come out here and shoot a quick garden update. We've got some changes. I harvested all the watermelon. This one's still ripening just a little bit pseudo on the vine. The vine really is not connected to anything, but I'm just trying to give it a little bit more time. The radishes and beets, not the radishes and the beets, the turnips and the beets are doing really well. And I'm going to show you the seedlings that are starting to come up here. This is all the fall crop of things, fall and winter. We'll keep everything going as much as we can. Over here, we're just starting to have some arugula come up. Behind that is kale. Spinach, I don't see any germinating yet. Then there's a couple of little things of chard coming up behind that. There in the middle is some more turnips that I planted. The turnips we've been eating and they've been delicious, so that is going to be reseeded a number of times. Then we got some more beets there. The lettuce is coming up quite a bit, which is great. And then we've got some bok choy that is coming up. And the kohlrabi was one of the first to come up. And then back there in the far back is escarole. And then after that is some chicory. And then finally here is corn salad. And I think just a couple of those are starting to come up. Planted these about a week ago. I would have preferred to do plugs and then start them inside and then bring them out, but I just was not able to pull that off. So, hey, what are you going to do? I threw them in because it was easier. Peppers are still producing. I pulled a whole bunch off, but the ones that really are still loaded down are the hot peppers. They seem to just keep going no matter what. As you can see, we got lots and lots of these on here. And on the pepper side, we have jalapenos that are starting to ripen and turn red, as you can see right down there. So I think in just a little bit, I'm going to start having a whole bunch of red peppers on here, which will be kind of fun. I might let them go until they're red, because I've got plenty. We're trying to actually get some out to give to people. All the sweet peppers we've cleaned off completely and eaten all of those. But some of them are looking like they might flower again and maybe give us some more, but we'll see. So tomato-wise, the sweet pea currant cherry tomatoes, I'm telling you, tasty, but only plant one or two of them, because it just becomes a nightmare of so many plants, so many fruit, and they're really small, so they're really difficult to harvest. But they are just completely loaded down. I actually cut the bases of all of these because I quite honestly don't need any more of these tomatoes, and they were splitting on the vine when it would rain too much, and then you get this kind of a nonsense, which is really a pain because it makes it much more difficult to deal with. But everyone has agreed that they're probably the most tasty tomato that we have grown this year. So I like them, but I wish that they were just a little bit bigger because the size makes it very difficult to deal with them. Now brandywines are still ripening quite nicely. You can see I've got a really nice bunch here of brandywines that are all getting ripe. And that is great because a lot of the other tomatoes have been harvested. I've still got a whole bunch of green brandywines around, and everything is kind of leaned. Unfortunately, I let my trellis got a little bit out of control and everything kind of fell over. I lost some of my wires. Kind of a pain because now it is not nearly as neat and tidy, which I liked. Oh, but I wanted to show you this. This is working here, even with the brandywines, of letting another vine grow up from the base. So that is definitely the way that I'm going to do that next year, is I'm going to actually cut it up, thin off all the leaves, like I talked about in a prior video, on the bottom, and then let new vines come up from the base. Cherry tomatoes are absolutely prolific. You see I have some splitting on the vine there, but I've just got so many. I actually took a ton of them and made them into an amazing salsa. But these are just completely covered, and more green tomatoes all over the place with these cherry tomatoes. So that's pretty much the scoop. Anyone who is local, if you want to come and pick any sweet pea currant cherry tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, Whatever you pick, you can have. So come on by. Other than that, have an excellent week, everybody, and happy gardening. I got so excited here that I almost forgot to record this. Harvested some watermelons just the other day, and I just started cutting one of them up. This was the larger one over here. Looked just like the smaller one, only a little bit bigger. And I cut into half of it, and it was perfectly ripe. Thank goodness. I almost forgot. I was so excited I almost forgot to shoot a little bit of this. So I got to take a quick video of this. This is the biggest watermelon that I've gotten so far. It is a beauty. This is the Moon and Stars watermelon. Just to give you an idea of how big it is. That is my hand. It's a really nice size. I'm very excited to cut into it. The watermelons were a success this year. We harvested at least 5 decent-sized ones and then 2 tiny ones. We don't know if those will go or not, but the one that I have cut into already, the first one that was ripe, did fantastic, and it tasted delicious, and I saved seeds from that one because it was the first one to ripen, and we'll be planting that next year. So I realized there was one more thing that I wanted to shoot here. These are a few of the cantaloupes that we still have that came from the cantaloupe outside. So those were a success also. The one thing that I have to say about the cantaloupes is the one that grew on the ground got gnawed into, which was kind of a disappointment. They didn't actually get too far into it, which was great, so we still got to get at it. We just cut off the bad part and ate it. But it really is a benefit to trellising everything up, because I think that's going to be the way to keep any kind of animal that's on the ground from getting at it. So that's going to be my plan for next year, is to try to trellis up, again, the cantaloupe and the watermelon. They did stay on the vine just fine, and with the cantaloupe, as soon as they were ripe, I pulled on them and they came right off. You can see the little hole there at the top, and the same sort of thing with the watermelon. Some of them I cut, some of them I just pulled off. So we'll see.